What if the universe was speaking to you and you didn't even know it? What if that clock flashing 11:11 wasn't just a coincidence? What if it was a message, a calling, a doorway? Every day all around the world, thousands of people glance at their phone, their watch, the dashboard, and there it is again, 11:11, over and over, too frequent to ignore, too precise to be random. You start to wonder, am I going crazy, or is something trying to reach me? You're not crazy, you're being contacted, not by something outside you, but by something deep within you, a soul memory, a sacred pulse, a code etched into the fabric of your consciousness, gently trying to wake you up. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, said it best. The signs are everywhere, not to be worshipped, but to be understood. 11:11 is one of those signs. It's not just a number, it's an activation, a spiritual nudge that reminds you, you are more than flesh and blood. You are a soul with a divine purpose. When you keep seeing 11:11, it is as if the universe is tapping on your shoulder saying, pay attention, you are aligned. You are ready, look deeper. But what does it actually mean? Let's go beyond the fluff, beyond pop culture mysticism. Let's root this message in something ancient, something real. Let's look through the lens of Edgar Cayce, a man whose trance readings reveal timeless truths about the soul, the cosmos, and the power of unseen forces guiding us home. In Cayce's vision of reality, time is not linear, it's cyclical, symbolic. The soul moves through lifetimes like a river carving its path through stone, always seeking wholeness. And in moments of spiritual alignment, when your conscious mind briefly syncs up with your soul's path, the universe leaves breadcrumbs. 11:11 is one of those breadcrumbs. It appears when the veil is thin, when your thoughts begin to match your destiny, when your energy shifts just enough to be felt in higher dimensions. According to Cayce, numbers carry spiritual vibrations, and 11, and especially when doubled, is a master number. It speaks of intuition, of illumination, of the soul's longing to ascend. 11 is the number of insight, of initiates, of those who are waking up from the dream of separation and remembering. You are not alone, and you were never lost. Seeing 11:11 again and again is a signal. You are standing at the threshold, a portal, the edge of an old life and the beginning of something new. But you must choose to walk through it. This isn't about superstition, it's about resonance. Your soul is vibrating at a frequency that is finally loud enough for you to notice. And the more you pay attention, the more you'll see. Patterns, signs, synchronicities that feel too tailored to ignore. Because they are tailored for you, by you. Long before you incarnated into this body, you chose a path. You selected certain markers, certain codes that would help you remember, especially when the world would try to make you forget. 11:11 is one of those codes. It's your own soul reminding you. You wrote this script. You chose this moment. You are right on time. Cayce often spoke about the subconscious mind as a gateway to the divine. In meditation, in dreams, in stillness, we access that gateway. And when you're repeatedly seeing 11:11, it's an invitation to return to that stillness, to listen, to meditate, to go inward. Not to analyze, but to align. That moment you notice 11:11, pause. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? What were you about to say? That number is not just a timestamp, it's a mirror, a sacred echo of what is happening inside you, reflected outside of you, in perfect harmony. Cayce taught that the universe speaks through symbols because the soul speaks in symbols. Language is too limited, but numbers are universal, energetic, archetypal. And when 11:11 appears, it's as if the higher realms are saying, yes, this, stay here. Think about it. The very structure of 11:11 is balanced. 2 pairs, 4 lines, a gateway, a symmetry that reflects the soul in harmony with its source. It's not just a number, it's a visual mantra, a portal hidden in plain sight. But here's the deeper truth. 11:11 isn't just happening to you. You are calling it in. You are magnetizing it through your vibration, your intention, your inner alignment. And the more you grow in awareness, the more the signs increase, not to impress you, but to awaken you, to remind you that this world is layered, that you are a spiritual being in a multidimensional reality. That reality itself is far more alive, intelligent, and responsive than you were ever taught to believe. Cayce called this the pattern of light. He described how souls evolve not through random experiences, but through patterns, repeated energies that offer us a chance to choose differently, to rise, to evolve. So if you are constantly seeing 1111, it may be because you are finally recognizing your pattern. The old cycle is ending. The next one is waiting, but you must step into it with awareness. You must ask yourself, what am I being called to remember? Because 1111 is not just about magic, it's about responsibility. You are being handed a moment of power, a window where intention becomes amplified, where thoughts take form more easily, where your connection to source is more direct. Don't waste it. When you see 1111, don't just smile and scroll past it. Use it. Pause, breathe, speak truth into your life. Feel gratitude for your path. Set a new intention, because in that moment, the veil is thinner and your voice is louder. Cayce believed that every soul has helpers, spiritual guides, higher selves, divine intelligences watching over us. When you see 1111, it may also mean your guides are near, that they are offering support, clarity, comfort, but they will never interfere. They wait for your permission. That's why awareness matters. That's why presence matters. Seeing 1111 is not about waiting for miracles. It's about realizing you are the miracle. And every time you align with that truth, you shift the fabric of your reality. You're not being haunted by numbers. You're being invited home, to your truth, to your purpose, to the remembrance that you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself. And 1111? It's just the knock at the door. Now, what will you answer? Some people dismiss it. They call it a glitch in perception, a trick of the mind. But ask yourself this: how many times does a coincidence have to repeat before it stops being random and starts being intentional? When you see 1111 constantly, something greater is unfolding beneath the surface of your life. It's not just about a number, it's about timing, divine timing, the kind that Edgar Cayce described in his readings, moments where the soul's journey intersects perfectly with the rhythm of universal intelligence. In Cayce's view, life was not a chaotic scramble of meaningless events. It was a sacred choreography, a pattern in which every soul danced through lifetimes, facing the very experiences it had chosen for its evolution. In this vision, 1111 becomes a form of spiritual punctuation, a cosmic exhale, a moment when heaven whispers, yes, keep going. But why now? Why does 1111 seem to appear during transitions, during awakenings, during times of deep questioning? Because that's when you're most open, most receptive, most ready to begin listening to something other than fear, noise, and conditioning. Cayce's work constantly pointed us back to the truth that the outer world is a mirror. What happens around you reflects what's stirring within you. And when you begin to shift internally, when you meditate, when you pray, when you choose presence over autopilot, you shift your frequency. You move from static to signal, from dissonance to alignment, and that's when the patterns appear. That's when numbers like 1111 show up. Not because the universe changed, but because you changed. You tuned in, you raised your antenna, you became aware of what was always there. 1111 is confirmation. Not from a god in the sky, but from the sacred intelligence that lives within you. A signal from your higher self, your eternal self. The part of you that remembers every lifetime, every lesson, every vow. That part is always guiding you. And sometimes it uses numbers, symbols, dreams, songs, anything that can pierce through the noise and make you pause. The number 11 itself is the number of spiritual mastery. It stands tall, upright, unshaken. 2 columns like the pillars of a temple. In ancient mystery schools, the initiate would walk between 2 columns to begin the path of sacred transformation. The space between the pillars, that was the unknown, the realm of growth, surrender, evolution. 1111 is 4 pillars. It's double the call, double the opportunity. It doesn't just say, pay attention. It says, the temple doors are open, step through. And stepping through means more than just noticing. It means living differently. Cayce taught that the mind is the builder. That thought creates form, that our beliefs shape our realities more than any outside force. So when you see 1111, it's also a reminder. What are you building? Are your thoughts in harmony with your purpose? Are your words reflecting your highest truth? Are your actions aligned with the life you came here to live? Because the 1111 is not just a pat on the back, it's a checkpoint. It asks you, is your inner world matching your outer expression? Are you walking in integrity with your soul? If you are, beautiful. The number will keep appearing as reassurance. If you're not, beautiful. The number will keep appearing as a wake-up call. Because either way, it is love, it is guidance, it is grace, it is your soul saying, even now you can return to yourself. Cayce often emphasized the power of meditation, that still sacred space where the conscious mind becomes quiet and the soul can speak. He believed that within us is a divine blueprint, a map we can access not through logic, but through silence. And that's what 1111 invites. Silence, stillness, awareness, not fear, not urgency, not superstition, just presence. So the next time it flashes across your screen, don't just smile. Don't just make a wish. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and ask your soul, what do you want me to know right now? Then listen. Maybe it will come as a feeling, a memory, a sudden knowing. Maybe nothing will come at all. Just peace. That is the gift. 1111 brings you into communion with the now, and the now is where transformation begins. It's easy to feel lost in this world. We're surrounded by noise, distractions, timelines that are not our own. But seeing 1111 is a sacred interruption. It's the universe whispering, come back, right here, right now. This is where your power is. And that's the key, power. Cayce's teachings were never about escape. They were about empowerment, about remembering that we are not victims of fate, but co-creators of our reality, that the soul does not need saving, it needs remembering. 1111 is part of that remembrance. You are not alone. You are not random. You are not off course. You are being guided, nudged, realigned. And the more you respond to the call, the more you meditate, listen, align, act with love, the more your life begins to flow. Not because it's perfect, but because it's real, authentic, awake. Cayce said, mind is the builder, spirit is the life, and the physical is the result. Think about that. When you are seeing 1111, you are standing in that sacred triad. Mind, asking questions, becoming aware. Spirit, rising, whispering ancient truths. Body, watching it all unfold through your eyes, your hands, your choices. You are a living temple, and this number is the bell that rings in your inner sanctuary. So don't just ask, what does 1111 mean? Ask, what do I mean? Ask, why am I here right now in this life? Ask, what am I being called to do that only I can do? The answers may not come all at once, but 1111 tells you, keep asking. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are exactly where your soul needs to be to take the next step. And the universe? It's not silent. It's been speaking all along. You're just now beginning to hear it. There's something undeniable about the way 1111 appears. On the clock, just as you're thinking of someone. On a receipt during a turning point. In a dream you can't quite shake. It's not just a number, it's a portal. A portal between the seen and the unseen. Between your human self and your higher self. It's not a test. It's not a trick. It's a tug. A quiet but persistent invitation to awaken. And that's the part most people miss. This isn't just a phenomenon to observe passively. It's an opportunity to respond. Edgar Cayce spoke of these spiritual invitations often. He described how, during moments of transition, our souls are more easily reached. He believed in soul memory, that within each of us is a record of every life, every choice, every encounter that shaped our evolution. When we begin to awaken spiritually, we access not only higher guidance, but ourselves. The deeper, wiser self that has walked through lifetimes, gathering truth like a lantern collects light. And what is 1111 if not a signal from that deeper self, reminding you that the veil is thin, that guidance is near, and that it's time to take responsibility for your energy? This number appears during energetic thresholds. It's no coincidence that so many begin seeing it during spiritual awakenings, dark nights of the soul, or periods of deep uncertainty. That's when the soul starts speaking louder. When you're no longer distracted by the noise of the world, your inner life becomes more vivid. And the universe, which is not something out there, but the very intelligence you are made of, begins responding in kind. Cayce taught that the body is the vehicle of the soul, not the other way around, and that within each of us is a point of connection to the divine, a channel, a current. You could call it spirit, you could call it source. Cayce called it the creative forces. And when you're in alignment with those forces, you start experiencing synchronicity as normal. Numbers, dreams, visions. They're not random, they're feedback, responses to your inner alignment. 1111 is one of the most universal of these signs. Why? Because it's simple, silent, powerful. It catches your attention without demanding it. It enters the moment without interrupting it. And in doing so, it bypasses your ego. It slips beneath your defenses. And instead of thinking, you feel. You pause, you reflect, you remember. Remember what? That this world is not all there is. That you are not your pain, your title, your failures. That this moment, yes, this exact moment, is part of your soul's unfolding. 1111 doesn't ask for worship. It doesn't need a ritual. It simply invites awareness. It's a flash of divine consciousness, piercing the veil of everyday reality to whisper, you are not lost, you are becoming. And this becoming, this sacred process of unfolding, is what Cayce described as soul development. He emphasized that our challenges, our patterns, our relationships, even the painful ones, are not punishments. They are lessons, not to be escaped, but understood, transformed, alchemized. So when you see 1111, don't just look outward for answers. Look inward and ask, what lesson is trying to emerge in me right now? What am I being asked to release? What truth have I been avoiding that's ready to be seen? Because this number will keep appearing until you see, until you become conscious of the pattern beneath the surface. And once you do, once you feel the meaning instead of chasing it, something shifts. Your life begins to reorganize. You make different choices. You release old stories. You begin to speak and live from the soul instead of the ego. And that is the beginning of freedom. Not the freedom that comes from escaping problems, but the deeper freedom of knowing that you are not your problems. You are the one experiencing them, learning through them, evolving because of them. 1111 is the light post on that path, the breadcrumb, the wink from the divine, the reminder that, as Cayce said, there is no past, present, or future. All time is one time. And in that truth, every moment becomes sacred. Every second holds potential. Every minute contains the possibility of transformation. So what do you do when you see it? You breathe. You align. You ask yourself, am I thinking with love right now? Am I choosing with courage? Am I acting with purpose? Because those three things, love, courage, purpose, are the tools of the awakened soul. And that's what 1111 comes to activate. Not your intellect, your spirit. It's not about knowing the future. It's about embodying your truth in the present, because that's where the power is. That's where your karma is rewritten. That's where your past lives dissolve into the now. Cayce's view of reincarnation wasn't just about coming back. It was about coming back better, stronger, clearer, wiser. 1111 is a checkpoint on that return, a place to pause and ask, who have I been? Who am I now? Who am I becoming? Because the truth is, you are not the same person you were last year, last month, even yesterday. And when you start seeing 1111, it's often because your soul is trying to tell you, you've outgrown the old story. You've reached a new frequency. It's time to align your life to match. That might mean releasing relationships that no longer resonate. That might mean saying yes to a path that terrifies you, but also exhilarates you. That might mean trusting your intuition over external voices. Whatever it is, 1111 is not a guarantee that things will be easy. It's a reminder that things will be real. And that's what your soul came for. Not perfection, authenticity, not safety, growth, not comfort, truth. So when the clock strikes 1111 and you feel that familiar flicker of recognition, don't ignore it. Answer it. Pause. Breathe. Listen. Then act with intention. Speak with truth. And live like someone who knows they're being guided. Because you are. You always have been. And maybe, just maybe, this number was never just a sign from the universe. Maybe it was a message from you, the eternal you, reaching through the veil to say, you're doing better than you think. Keep going. The light is within you now. And when you live like that, every moment becomes divine. Every step becomes sacred. Every second, even the ones that hurt, becomes part of the greatest journey there is, the journey home to yourself. And that is what 1111 really means.